Hey, hello, everybody. Here we are, Laura
Hey,
and Dave Butler of Work Life Consulting, and we're here to talk about another hot topic of the Wednesday live stream format. And today, our topic is to dive a little deeper into our upcoming program, which is our signature program. It's Emotional Mastery, the key to your leadership impact. And if you're joining us live, thank you for joining us today. If you're listening to the recording, that's great. We are Dave and Laura Butler of the Work Life Consulting team, and we provide individual and team on site and online programs that help people increase their leadership impact and sort of beef up communication. So the way that we thought we'd let you know how this is unfolding is we basically look at it from three steps. The idea of this program evolved because our backgrounds with coaching is possibly different than how other people would approach diving into a topic like this. So ours is less instructional and more experiential, more engagement. We like to be the ones to sort of set the stage, and then you decide what the script is going to be. It's not up to us really to drive that, but we are the ones who have the experience, the background, the expertise to, one of our main topics has been emotional intelligence over the years for a couple of reasons, mainly because we love the topic, but also we've seen several leaders who are not emotionally smart. And I'll get off my soapbox in just a second, but the other is because we have not learned this in school. We were taught growing up that you've got to be super smart. You got to go. You got to push the envelope. And it's the last thing we need to help organizations thrive. What do you think, Dave? Did I say it all?
I'm trying to see what you left out so I know what to pick up on. No, I think you're right on target, Laura. I mean, the issue is that the times have changed. We're living in this world of vast diversity. There's all kinds of people from everywhere, lots of different ethnic backgrounds. The globalization has led to all kinds of mixed teams of different kinds of skills and people, and all of it's great to have all that strengths and all of the abilities. But what's the point if you can't access it? So what do we do to go beyond just the level of saying, okay, I put up with you, I kind of like you, I don't. We have to be willing to to really be committed to each other, to move beyond just strengths that we have to what our motivations are. The strengths finders and all this kind of strength conversation. Well, yeah, I mean, duh. I mean, I want to use my strengths. I don't want to be using my weaknesses every day. But the issue is not strengths and weaknesses. The issue is, do I want to do it? Will I show up and do it? Will I come in early and stay late? Do I walk away thinking, wow, where did the day go? Whoa, geez, I can't believe we got all that done. That enthusiasm, that connection, that desire, that's what makes the difference. It's always made a difference. There's a difference of any team in any sport or any business is the desire and the camaraderie and the connection and the willingness to have each other's back. And also to understand what makes people tick. Not just because I'm their leader, but even if I'm working with them, I want to know what I can do to bring the best out in you. How do I unleash your best self? What can I do? How can I help you do that?
Well, I think what you're bringing up is an important piece. It's okay, so I can understand what makes other people tick, but I first have to understand what makes myself tick.
Of course.
And without that awareness, I can't move into my relationships.
Yeah, and it's why, as we brought up before, that Socrates reported over the entryway to the Temple of Apollo, "Know thyself." Well, what does that mean? Know myself? Over the years, I've talked to people and said, well, we need to get to know ourselves. And they say, oh, I know myself. Well, people think that they do, but they don't really, especially when you see how they overreact to situations, how are not really in control of themselves. How when everybody else's hair is on fire, they start trying to light their own hair on fire. I mean, what do we do to be able to manage ourselves to be? It's not just calm, cool, and collected, but it's, in the old days of leadership, they used to call it bearing. Somebody had bearing. You felt like they were going somewhere and they were committed to it, and they brought that energy and that vitality with them, and it became contagious.
Well, I think
Picked up on that.
what you're heading towards is to really talk about the program.
Nice slide.
Yeah. So this is what we said we would share today in the live stream is what is emotional mastery
And why is it important?
and why is it important? So what we boiled down into the W's, if you will, plus the H, the who, what, when, why, when, where, and how, the why and the what. Why is it important? I think today more than ever, because I'm increasingly seeing in my coaching practice those who do not have emotional mastery kind of almost, swallowing up everybody else.
Yeah.
So it's really important that we as coaches create the safe space for individuals to be able to step into that zone of leading with intention, to let those other bullies know that that's not right. That's not the way we lead. So leading with that intention, I find that when you really start to align with your own personal values, when somebody else's values compromise that, it's really clear.
Right. The other piece that goes along with leading with intention is being able to be sure of your delivery is reflective of your intention. I hear over and over again, people are confused, and somebody says, well, why did you talk to me that way? And somebody says, well, I didn't intend to do that. I didn't intend to embarrass you. I didn't intend to make you feel bad. Well, it's intention. But if our delivery is confusing as a leader, people don't know what our intention is. We fill in with our own ideas of what it's about. So it's clarifying intention so I can lead with it. I like the second word, the establishing connection quickly. I don't have time to build teams anymore. Even the thought of building a team. By the time I get everybody in the same room, somebody's already leaving. Somebody new is coming in. We're reporting to a new player. We got bought by somebody else. I mean, the amount of switching and changing and moving around, we need to be able to hit the ground running.
Right.
So learning how to do that through our emotional mastery course is one of the most important aspects, I think.
Well, I think the other piece that's so important, and I'm seeing more and more of it, is that people are aligning with what's that purpose and passion.
Yeah.
I think if anything has come out of the experiences of COVID, it's a step back and a reset. What am I doing again? Why? I did so well. And I think the question is always to keep monitoring who's on site, who's a hybrid, and who's virtual, remote, because it's still there. I think it's expanded that world. But aligning with your passion and purpose, awakening that, and we say we're building the community of work as a result of that.
Yeah.
And then the what are we doing inside this course? So we help people tap into the benefits of why emotions matter and how to handle those emotions. Sometimes we think we can, we think it sounds pretty easy, but to really identify what emotion is driving the result, driving the reaction, is not as easy as we think. And the other piece I would add to the benefits of our approach is that this is something that I took on as my capstone project in school, is to dive into understanding more about emotional intelligence. Talk about a passion and purpose that lights me up. It really is that. And I had this vision of around the world, there would be empathy centers. It's not so far-fetched today. But there are 5 basic EQ domains that Daniel Goleman created or evolved from studies. And the competencies that matter, and then mastery development, which is aligning yourself with a plan and deciding how that's going to unfold. And the how, I think the biggest benefit of something like this is with our guidance, the interactions that happen among the group, the participants who are a part of the group become an ongoing private community. I've done some other programs and I've seen people stay connected way beyond the program.
Well,
And
I still have my emotional mastery group that I meet with.
And you have the mastermind group. And this will be starting September 12th. We'd love to have you be a part of the program. And anything, let me see if there's anything else we want. Oh, I think this is interesting. That this represents, sort of what Daniel Goleman pulled together in part of his work, which is, aligning your core competencies, which is what we learned to do what we do, the work that we do.
Foundation.
You have a core baseline of your skills. And then these are the competencies that move up the notch to leadership that are EQ based. And it's amazing how important that is. And then difficult to see, but what we get into with the program is utilizing the Berkman method. We look at identifying what grabs can be, meaning it's all well and good to talk about your strengths, but if you don't know what catapults that, what really triggers the strength,
you're short-circuited.
Yeah, it gets short-circuited. So this helps not only look at yourself, what your stress may appear, but what might somebody else show up as. And this gives you a quick snapshot into red, green, blue, yellow of what they need. Quick word, the reds are action. If things slow down, there's delay in the project, they get into stress. The greens, okay, the project is going well, but is there anybody to talk to? They're the collaborators, they're the relationships. The yellows are looking for more specifics, measure, detail, are the financials aligned? And the blues are looking to where are we going to go with it? What's the future? Mm-hmm. So if those things are missing from any of those four, we're going to see stress.
Yeah, and what do I do when I see the stress or when I feel the stress?
Right.
That's what I think the key to the emotional mastery course is: understanding the triggers, noticing where they come from, what happens when they get engaged. But more importantly is what do I do about it? Once my trigger is set off, what do I do? If I know that I may be triggered in a situation, how do I build my resilience and my resistance to getting triggered in the first place?
And we are Dave and Laura Butler. If you're joining us live, thank you for joining. Recording, we are talking about our upcoming program, Emotional Mastery, and what the benefits are and how we approach it. But we offer online and in-person coaching experiences for individuals, teams, and organizations. And then how we define emotional mastery is recognizing our feelings and those of others, and then manage our stress levels regardless of the situation. To have that cool, calm, collected.
Yeah, so I like to say it's essentially EQ in action. It's not EQ as a philosophical or an intellectual idea. It's how do I use EQ? How do I build and use my EQ in order to have more impact?
Which is moving beyond theory and putting it into practice.
Right.
So add your name to the wait list. The program will be opening up for registration next week. We have a limited list and limited slots available because we want to keep it very interactive and very intimate among the people who do join. And there's an opportunity to learn from each other.
And I think there's a prerequisite of having the same passion for it as we do, being willing to make the sacrifice, to do the work, to be there together, to work on this, because it's kind of hard to work on enthusiasm and not be enthusiastic.
Absolutely, yeah, and not be enthusiastic. So we are going to be closing out, and we just wanted to give a shout out to our dear friend Elliot Lewis, who has written the music that we close with every week. And visit his website, see where he's going to be. He's with a lot of times Hall & Oates as the keyboardist for Hall & Oates, but he also has his own gigs and works with some amazing artists. So enjoy the short clip as we close out. Thanks for listening, and we will see you next week.